Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Thunder Bay Resort, a destination for all seasons with special events and packages. Thunder Bay Resort in Hillman. All aboard, ride on the Michigan Saddle Valley Railroad, a quarter-scale passenger train through the beautiful scenic landscape of northern Michigan, just south of Fairview. Now open weekends and holidays. Visit them online or call them now. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Remembering good times and great food, Frank and Lisa invite you to Tin Lizzie's in Mayo for a blast back to the 50s and 60s when food was made from scratch, including home-ground Angus burgers. A full menu of great food and good memories await you at the new Tin Lizzie's of Mayo. Hello, welcome to Michigan Magazine. I'm Barry Stutzman. Glad you could join us. This week on the show, we're talking confidence in our younger generation as we visit with a 17-year-old movie maker, Luke Jaden of Detroit. Luke, through his own production company, has gathered together a professional movie-making team with assistance from the Michigan Film Office. We talk with Luke on location at the Detroit Historical Museum, where he's filming a new documentary on John Brown and the Detroit Underground Railroad. Then we head into the UP to learn how dogs are being trained to assist the physically challenged in a most unique way. It's all coming up on this edition of Michigan Magazine. There's a hustle and bustle going on in Detroit's Cultural Center on Woodward Avenue on this early spring day. Cameras, lighting, and sound equipment are being unloaded and swept into Detroit Historical Museum's upper level near the doorway to Freedom, Detroit and the Underground Railroad exhibition area. Organized chaos is going on as crews begin to establish another one of several shooting locations for a new documentary that's being filmed in Detroit. Not such an unusual thing to happen in Michigan nowadays, with the fledgling filming industry digging its roots deeper into the local scene. The really unusual thing happening is that it's being produced, directed, and organized by a 17-year-old Detroiter, Luke Jaden. If you look at Luke's Facebook site, you'll see he's already actively involved in the Hollywood scene, with varying supporting roles under his belt. Luke seems to be seeking more involvement in all aspects of the film industry. Michigan Magazine was invited on the set to watch Luke and his crew in action in the early stages of filming the Untitled Brown Project, dealing with John Brown and Detroit's Underground Railroad. Today, Luke and the crew would be interviewing an historian and relative of the late John Brown. While the crew continued setting up, we visited with Luke about the project and his work.
I'm directing a project of mine called the Untitled Brown Project right now. We don't have a name for it, but it's about John Brown, the abolitionist movement, and the Underground Railroad in Detroit between 1837 and 1859. It's a documentary, and right now we're filming, then we're going to take it to editing, post, then we're going to go. I've got 2 actors, still casting a third. The decision will be made next week. Get some ADR voiceover with them, get all put in the can, all finished, and then we plan on shipping it off to Sundance, Tribeca, and Cannes. Seeing what happens after that, you never know.
Never know. But you've been in the business for a few years?
I've been in it about 4 years. I'm mainly an actor, but this is my first directorial debut.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. So it's going good.
That's pretty cool. You're 17 years old, right?
I am.
Okay, now how in the world did you get into this business at such a young age?
You know, it was 6th grade in middle school. I just wanted to find something new to do, and I liked being different characters, and I liked watching movies. And one of my friends was in something, and so I asked him a few questions of how he got into it. He told me, and then ever since that, I've just been writing my own stuff. I'm auditioning and stuff, and then producing stuff, and then now I'm here today doing this.
I tell you, you got quite a professional crew in there. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're getting things together for you
Very good.
to put it all together. How did you acquire this crew? What did you do? What kind of connections did you acquire?
I had a few connections from a production I worked on last month. I was in Mississippi filming a feature film called Rumors of Wars with Eric Roberts. And ever since that, I got a few crew connections, contacted them up. They told me about some things, how to do it, and they referred me to some people. And I did that, and then I sent out a crew call through Michigan Film Office, and they helped me get the crew and stuff. And then as far as the actors go, I put out a casting call, and I went through some of the local talent agencies in the area and Chicago, and they've just been submitting video auditions to me for the role of Frederick Douglass, and we're casting that at the moment.
And with that, Jaden was called away abruptly to take care of a few loose ends, which is understandable in this business. So we had the opportunity to talk with Brent Sawicki, who would be doing the narration and voiceover work for the project. Brent was a case in point that each project is like a child. It takes many influences and talents to bring it to maturity. The talents involved in this relatively small documentary project took a bit of creative casting.
I'm going to do the voiceover of John Brown. I'll probably end up also doing some narrating also. It's going to be a documentary style, so we do have a little bit of voiceover, with some of the imagery we're getting and things like that. Just, it's like your typical History Channel type documentary. I got an associate's in radio and TV broadcasting. I'm a Specs Howard grad twice. I went through both their programs, both of their audio and their video program. I did the audio first and then went to the video. I found that it was just more of what I wanted to do. I like acting, I like directing, I like editing, and I like pretty much every aspect of it. Just, there's certain things that I know that I would rather do. I know how to light, I know how to run camera, but I like people to do jobs that are passionate about their doing jobs, and I know some people just don't want to be actors and don't want to be editors, and all they want to do is shoot stuff, and so I empower them to do that, and so that's what I do.
So how did you get connected with this little project here?
Luke is my nephew. We both kind of got into this whole thing almost together in one way or in another. He kind of got into it, like he said, through his buddy, and I got into it through work going to Specs, and so I came from more of the technical end of it, but in that whole journey, I've also encountered auditions and extra parts and things like that.
Getting into this business, I tell you what, you must have found out that it's a little more than you'd expected at the very beginning. I mean, there's a lot of jobs involved in bringing a production together.
That's what most people don't understand, and I think it was best personified and exhibited on the Oz the Great and Powerful set. I was an extra in that movie. I was on that set for 6 months, and when people see the screen and they see the few people that are on screen, I think the formula, a good formula, is a figure about anywhere from 20 to 30 people for every person you see on that screen. That's what's making it happen, whether it's the lighting or whether it's the electricity or the sets or the direction or anything. There's so many facets involved, and a lot of people, yes, we watch the movie and we see all those end credits, but all those end credits are what making this film happen. It is the crew.
You can see that the movies and the documentaries being produced by Michigan is proving the fact that we do have talent available and ready.
We always have. I mean, you can't deny Detroit. You really can't, or Michigan. You can't deny it. We have 4 seasons. We have mountains. We have woods. We have snow. We have sun. We have beaches. We have it all, and it's a wonderful place to work. The people who come here to work, they love working in Michigan. That's all I ever heard on that set. Wow, this is nothing like it was in California. And to hear Californians who live and breathe this world every day to come here and say that, I think that's a real, feather in your cap.
And those feathers are spreading like a peacock. As we watched Jaden and the crew work their magic, we left confident in the fact that with a new generation of filmmakers like Jaden and Brent on the scene, good things will be coming to the big screen like Oz the Great and Powerful, made with pride in Michigan. Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent Traffic Stop Diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo. Find national name brand foods and merchandise at sharply discounted prices. Shop the smart way and please the family without breaking the budget. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo. Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery. Imagine for just a moment not being able to enjoy Michigan's great outdoors like you've always been able to in the past. For some reason, unexpectedly, you've lost most of your mobility, and the trails and pathways are no longer available to you. Not so long ago, this was a much encountered scenario. The wheelchair-bound or physically challenged were relegated to having to sit literally on the sidelines as mere spectators of Michigan's natural outdoor wonders. But thank goodness things are changing through the works of organizations like Outdoors Forever and Trails Up, and to dedicated individuals like this man, Dennis Hepner, who's making his own contribution to making the great outdoors he loves so much even more physically challenged accessible. Dennis has dedicated his life to training companion dogs to push the wheelchair through Michigan's wilderness trail system. A mission he recognized after he himself became wheelchair-bound after a tragic hunting accident. We caught up with Dennis and a group of his friends and students while we were scouting out the wonderful trail systems of Trail Up. We first asked how the idea came about to have the dogs push the wheelchairs.
Well, kind of by accident. I've got a yellow lab that's 11 years old, and I started out teaching him to walk back behind my chair, and he started pushing when he was 4 months old. That's where I got the idea from, anyway.
That's a unique idea to have them push, and they're very cooperative once you train them, aren't they? Or
Oh yeah, they like what they're doing.
they like what they're doing?
Yes. You can tell that when you see their tails wagging going down the road. Plus everybody barking, everybody wants to go at the same time, so.
So you train these dogs to do this. How long of a process is this? What does it take? How long do you do this? And what do you do to get them to cooperate like that?
Well, it's an average. It runs depending on the dog and what a person needs. But on an average, you're putting in a good 8 to 10 months of training, sometimes more.
And it's becoming pretty popular in this area, isn't it? I mean, you're getting more people involved in this?
Yeah, we sure are.
It makes it a lot easier for the people to get around as far as the facilities we have here, thanks to the organization.
Trails Up is making it possible not only for us in chairs to get out and get down through the woods and have some fun, but at the same time we can still run with the kids on the bikes and the chairs, and we can have a lot of fun doing it. We don't have to stick to the pavement, we don't have to stick in town. We can get out and enjoy the outdoors just like everybody else.
You hit a key point there. It's still, no matter what may come in your life, the outdoors is accessible to the entire family, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's like with Josh's mom now. She's got a bike, and his brother's on a bike, and we can all get out and run up and down the trail.
Well, you've been an outdoor enthusiast all your life, haven't you?
Yeah, I sure have. I grew up hunting and fishing, and I got hurt training dogs hunting, coonhounds.
I see.
And I've been working with dogs for a lot of years now. You know, if it wasn't for an organization like Trails Up, we'd still just be running around town or someplace where they had pavement. Because without these trails and the way they are, why, we wouldn't be able to get out in the woods.
As we reported in an earlier edition of Michigan Magazine, Trails Up is making giant headway in the Upper Peninsula, developing through the cooperation of local business and property owners and the U.S. Forest Service multi-use trails, wilderness trails that are available to all users, including the physically challenged. Dennis went on to tell us that if anyone were interested in obtaining a trail dog or finding out how to have one trained, they can always get in touch with him through the Trails Up organization or through the U.S. Forest Service in Bergland, Michigan. We asked Dennis what type of dog would make the best trail dog.
The Lab or Lab Cross is one of the better dogs for putting out with other people.
That's what you got to look for, is the temperament of the dog, and analyze that, take a look at that.
And how much experience a person has around dogs.
Right.
You know, and that's where a lot of people, where they don't have a lot of experience, the Lab is going to be a better dog for them. You know, now this one that I have here, that's Husky, Shepherd, and Wolf, you couldn't put him with just anybody. You'd have to be somebody to know how to handle a dog. You know, because otherwise he'd be the boss. You know, you put them under the chair when they're little like that. These guys here, this yellow one, has been working, pushing since he was 3 months.
Really?
But at the same time they're under the chair, the person in the chair is doing all the pushing. You know, the dogs at that age just aren't big enough, but you're conditioning to it and getting them ready for everything.
How far have you gone the longest you can go with a dog like that?
Well,
your trips?
I've gone on 20-mile runs, but I still could have went farther. The dog still had enough in them.
Really?
To keep going farther.
My goodness. So as we said before, the outdoors is for everyone, and organizations like Trails Up and Outdoors Forever provides an ability to get out and enjoy it. I was talking to Josh here just a minute ago about how did you find it hard getting used to Bear helping you out, or?
The first time I tried him, he was so light, he wanted to go. He ran really fast. I was like, ooh, what do I do now? Then the second time, he was not too bad.
Right, you get used to him, and he knows who the master is, too. John, tell us a little bit about your dog. Tell us a little bit about Teddy. Is he a good dog?
Yeah, he's good.
He gets you going pretty fast?
Yeah.
Sometimes. How long have you had Teddy?
3 months.
About 3 months. Well, he's just almost a puppy then, I mean, with you as far as getting used to. Good dog, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you gone on any long trips? Or any of these trails much at all? Or is this?
Nope.
10 miler.
A 10 miler? You went on a 10 miler?
10 miles.
Wow, that's pretty good. Excellent. Well, he is a good dog. Okay, Summer, tell us a little bit about your dog and his name and how long you've had him.
Oh, my name's Banjo, and I have no idea how long I've had him. About 2 years.
2 years. He is a good dog, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're pretty good around people too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been on some long trips, have you? Huh?
Not with me.
Not with you? Well,
Dennis, yes.
oh, he's an affectionate little doggy there, yeah. So, did it take long to get used to him, or you get the hang of it? Yeah.
Well, the first few times it was so much fun. It's just,
Yeah.
now she don't push hardly at all.
Really? She knows what to do now. Well, thank you everybody very much for taking part in Michigan Magazine, and we hope everybody takes advantage of what you've got going, Dennis, and making the outdoors accessible to everybody. Whole families back in business again and enjoying what we've got here in Northern Michigan. Again, a big salute to Dennis Hepner and his work in making the outdoors fun again for the physically challenged. And a big thank you to organizations like Trails Up and Outdoors Forever. Announcing the Michigan Paddle Sports Directory, your one-stop internet connection. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, it's now possible to explore Michigan's extensive waterways like never before. Michigan Paddle Sports Directory is a comprehensive directory of canoe and kayak rentals and liveries throughout the entire state of Michigan. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, you'll find a great paddling route, outfitter, store, school, rental shop, or tour guide. Michigan's great waterways are waiting for you. Make it an adventure worth remembering by first visiting MichiganPaddlesports.com. Well, there you go. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Michigan Magazine.
It's time for us to hit those Michigan back roads again to discover those unsung Michigan heroes. The past few weeks, we've ran across many. As a matter of fact, we even ran across our fellow RFD TV producers who are taking the concept of exploring off the beaten path to a national level. It was great crossing paths with Rodney Miller and Jan Carl of Small Town Big Deal. Our paths crossed in Frankenmuth and in Clare. Watch for our visit with them as we compare notes on a future edition of Michigan Magazine. Also coming up, we have brand new stories with Curtis Pusiniak, holiday ornament designer extraordinaire, as he unveils his brand new line at Bronner's Christmas Wonderland. We also stop in at a new Amish country store in Oscoda County, featuring country artisans and farm markets. We've also got highlights of the Nor'easter Folk Festival, a Back to the Bricks Antique Car Shore to Shore tour, and visits with experts and authors on the subject of the notorious Purple Gang. Next week on the show, we visit Holistic Pampered Pets of West Branch. We'll be talking about the growing health care devoted to buying American pet foods, guaranteeing quality and healthy ingredients. This week's word of the day is cronuts, a delicious donut made from croissants, sweeping the country and being made weekly at Cops and Donuts in Clare. Send the word to us for a chance to win a Northern Michigan vacation. That's all the time we've got. We'll see you here next week for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Thunder Bay Resort, a destination for all seasons with special events and packages. Thunder Bay Resort in Hillman. Canyons Lakeside Resort and Marina, located on the shores of beautiful Sage Lake. Get away to their newly remodeled, beautiful bed and breakfast or their historic 13-room hotel. Special events and activities for all ages. Call now or go online for more information on this Michigan treasure. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. For home, medical, and healthcare products, visit Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of Rose City city limits. Rose City Drug has a complete diabetic department, including shoes. Serving Michigan for over 20 years. Rose City Drug, Rose City. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile.